Hello crochet friends, welcome back to Crazy Cool Crochet. This is Sylvia, and today we're going to be working on what I am calling the Crochet Easy Cables Wrap Scarf. Now I will be honest, and this is not necessarily a beginner friendly project. I call it easy because the cables are the easiest cables you will ever work, in my opinion. Okay. And this wrap scarf is kind of unique, I think, because it is something that you just throw over your shoulders. It's one continuous panel that is attached. So you just throw it over your shoulders and you don't need to worry about tying it or, one end and then the other end is flopping around. Okay. I think this is kind of a unique take on a wrap scarf. So for this project, we used a super bulky yarn, a number 6. We'll need some scissors, and the crochet hook is nice and chunky also. It's a P as in Paul, and it's at 11.5, I believe. Yes, an 11.5 millimeter. Had to check my notes. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, in the interest of time, and again because this is not necessarily a beginner project and you should know your basic stitches, the first 2 rows we're going to start, first of all, this will be for a size, the tutorial medium, and we're going to start with a foundation chain of 63. Work loosely. For the entire project, you're going to work loosely, your tension. So we're going to start the double crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook, not counting the loop on the hook. So you should end up with 61 double crochets. Then you will chain 1 turn, and we're going to do a row of single crochets. So simply enter 1 single crochet in each stitch. At the end of that single crochet row, you will chain 2 and turn. Now we are going to work the setup row for the cables. So as we're working this row, it might seem a little bit tricky, but just keep in mind, we're only doing this one time just to set it all up. So we're going to start with a double crochet into the first space. Now we're going to be working around the double crochet post below the second one. So skip the first, we're working into the second double crochet on that first row. So yarn over as if for a double crochet, pull the yarn up, nice and tall, pull through the first 2 loops, do that again around the same post, pull through the first 2 loops, one more time around the same post, pull through the first 2, now you've got 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. That's the first half of the cable. Now pull that cable a little bit towards you so you can look at the stitches in the back. We are going to work a double crochet into each of the next 2 single crochet spaces. Just make sure you're not skipping any. Here's the second one. So for each cable, we are going to need 2 double crochets in between. Now to work the second half of the cable, we're going to work around the next double crochet post next to that cable. The same way, so just pull up your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, do that again around the same post, pull through the first 2 loops, And one more time. Don't worry that you're stretching out that stitch. 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. There's your first completed cable. Now we're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 2 spaces. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this yarn because it's a 100-degree day where I am, and the yarn is trying to stick to me. Okay, so 2 double crochets. Now skip 2 double crochets below, next to that cable, and around the next double crochet, we're doing a front post double crochet. So just grab your yarn, go behind and back around to the front, grab your yarn, pull it up, and complete the double crochet. Now do skip the stitch right behind that front post and do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's the pattern that we'll be working. A cable, and then 2 double crochets, a front post, and 2 double crochets. Now we're going to start the next cable. Okay, now we're going to skip 2 double crochets next to the front post. From the first row, skip 2, and then in the next double crochet, we're going to start the first part of your cable. Pull through 2, pull through 2, and around the same post, pull through 2. 4 loops on the hook, pull through all 4. Now do not skip any stitches in the back. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Now work the second half of the cable, working around the double crochet right next to the cable. Pull through all 4. Now you've completed another cable with the 2 double crochets in between. Okay, now again, do not skip any stitches in the back and do a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Skip 2 posts below and then do a front post double crochet in the next double crochet post. Now do skip the stitch right behind the front post and then double crochet in each of the next 2. Okay, now just repeat that pattern for the remainder of the row. So now remember, skip 2 double crochets next to the front post and then start your next cable in the next double crochet below. Whoops. So you're working that first half of the next cable. There you go. Now don't skip any stitches. Do 2 double crochets over the next 2 stitches. Complete your cable over the next double crochet post next to that first half. And then after that, you'll do your 2 double crochets, do a front post, 2 double crochets, and just continue. After your last cable, which is actually number 9, you will do your last 2 double crochets in the last 2 stitches, and then chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to work a row of single crochets. So start your first single crochet in that first space, and in the second, and now we're going to stop and let me show you. The stitch over the cable we skip. Go right into the next one with a single crochet. Let me show you from the front. So that stitch there we are skipping, and go into the next. And then work the next single crochet, and now here we go. There's that second half of the cable, so we're going to skip that stitch and single crochet into the next stitches until you get to the next cable. Just keep turning this toward you. We've got one more, and there's the cable. So we're skipping that one and single crocheting into the next 2, because then we hit the next cable and we skip that. And then you single crochet over the next 5. And now we are at the next cable, so we skip and just continue that all the way to the end. So you're only skipping the stitches over the cables. After you work your last single crochet of the row, you chain 2 and turn. Now enter 1 double crochet in the first space. Now we're going to work our cable repeat row. So going forward, we're working our cables around the 2 double crochets in between the cable below. So start your first half around the first double crochet. Now, again, as before, work a double crochet into the single crochet space and 1 more in the next single crochet space. And now work the second half of your cable around the second double crochet below. This is why you work loosely, because now it's a little bit difficult. Or maybe it's just the heat. Two and 3. Pull through all 4. Okay, so that's how we work the cables down the row. So you do your first half around the first double crochet, the second half, do your 2 double crochets behind, and then your second half around the second double crochet below. Now we're going to work over the next 2 single crochets. Do not skip any stitches. So work a double crochet, and 1 more. Now work the front post around the front post below. Bring it up real tall. Now do skip the space right behind that front post and then double crochet in the next 2. And now again you're going to work your next cable around the double crochet posts of the cable below. Do your 2 double crochets in between, and then your 2 double crochets, front post, 2 double crochets, and just keep repeating the pattern all the way to the end. Now when you got to the end of that row, you would have done your last 2 double crochets in the last 2 stitches, chain 1, turn, and now you're going to repeat that single crochet row where, remember, you're skipping the stitch above the cable. When you're working your single crochets, you're skipping over. And that's it. Those are your 2 repeat rows. So just keep working for the remainder of your panel. You would have worked for a total of 6 of the cable rows, or cables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you will end on a single crochet row and cut off the yarn. Now we're going to seam the ends and then do 1 last row of single crochet along the foundation chain row to match that last single crochet row. Now to seam the ends, we're going to fold the panel in half. You want the wrong sides facing up, right sides touching each other, and we're just going to seam along this short edge. Okay, so I'm going to attach the yarn in one of the corners of the short edge, and I like to tie with knots. Again, I'm super careful. All right, so now I'm going to attach or insert the hook. My preference is to try to work under 2 strands on each panel. So now go into the corner stitch of the second panel. Grab the yarn, do a chain to lock it in. Now we're going to do your slip stitches. Okay, so now go through both panels, pull the yarn through. Stay fairly loose with your tension. And just work your way all the way along the edge, and then tie it off when you get to the end. Now before we do the row of single crochet on the bottom, I just want you to know that if you want more coverage along your torso, then you could add another row or 2 of the pattern, the cable and the single crochet rows. All right, now to attach the yarn, we are going to turn the wrap so that the foundation row is at the top and facing you. This is the front side, obviously. Now I like to attach to a seam and a chain to lock it in. Okay, so now just do your best to work a single crochet in each space or evenly spaced across. That first one is tight because it was in the seam. Keep your stitches loose, whoops, as you did before. And just work your way across. And here we are, all done with our crochet cable wrap scarf. Thick and quick. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed this and that you will join me again on the next project. Give me a thumbs up if you would down below. That's super helpful for my YouTube channel, and I appreciate your support so much. And don't forget to go over to crazycoolcrochet.us.etsy.com and take a look at all the patterns I've got out there. Thank you all.